Hey everyone, welcome back to the Duo Dialogues here on my YouTube channel. So glad to have you with us again. Today we're going to tackle something I know a lot of you English learners out there find really tricky. How to get that smooth, easy flow when you're speaking English.
It's true, isn't it? We hear it all the time from learners, that feeling of always being a step behind in conversations. Like they just can't get their thoughts out in English as quickly and easily as they do in their native language.
That's exactly. And a big part of that, I think, is this habit so many of us have. We translate everything in our heads first. From our first language into English, it's like we have this little translator in our brain.
And you're right, it does feel kind of helpful at first, like a safety net. But honestly, it really holds you back from becoming truly fluent.
I can see that.
It's not just about speed either. It's about how natural you sound and being able to use a wider range of vocabulary. And this is super important, right? If you want to do well on something like the IELTS speaking test, where fluency is key, or even just if you want to feel more confident and comfortable chatting with people in English every day.
So that's what we're going to deep dive into today. How to actually train your brain to think in English. No more mental gymnastics, no more translating back and forth, just straight to the English thought. Sounds ambitious, right?
It is, but it's also really fascinating. It's like you're rewiring your brain, It definitely takes practice, but the results you can get in terms of fluency and confidence are so worth it, trust me.
All right, so how do we even know if we're still translating too much? What are some signs that our little brain translator is working overtime?
Well, one of the biggest giveaways is those long pauses before you answer someone. It's not always because you're carefully choosing your words in English. It's often because your brain is busy translating what you heard into your native language, then coming up with a response in your native language, and then finally translating that back into English. That's a lot of steps, right?
No wonder it takes time. It's like all these mental gears are turning. So what else should we watch out for?
Another common one is when you just can't find the right word in English, even though you know exactly what you want to say. It's on the tip of your tongue, but the English word just won't come out. So you end up pausing, searching your brain, or using a word that isn't quite right.
Oh, tell me about it. That feeling is the worst. And even when you do manage to speak, sometimes the sentences just sound a little off, right? Like not quite how a native speaker would say it.
Right. And that happens because the grammar and word order of your native language can creep in and influence how you form sentences in English. So even if it's grammatically correct, it just doesn't sound natural.
I bet that also makes you more worried about making mistakes, right? Like you're constantly double-checking if your translated sentence is actually grammatically correct in English.
You hit the nail on the head. That anxiety about grammar can definitely get worse when you're translating all the time. You're basically juggling two things at once, so it's more likely you'll slip up. But hey, everyone listening, don't get discouraged if you recognize yourselves in any of this, okay? These are totally normal signs, and they just show that we can start working on thinking directly in English.
Okay, so we know how to spot the problem. Now let's get to the good stuff. How to actually retrain our brains to think in English. Where do we even begin?
Well, the best place to start is with the basics. I mean, really simple, everyday words and the things you see around you. Make a conscious effort to name these things in English without thinking of the word in your native language first. Like right now, wherever you are, just look around and tell me what you see.
Okay, I see a window, a laptop, a water bottle.
Great. Now try making very simple sentences about these things. Again, directly in English. Something like, the window is open, the laptop is on the desk, the water bottle is empty. You see, it's direct and simple. No need to translate.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's definitely less overwhelming than trying to jump into complex sentences right away. So you're saying our listeners should actually be doing this right now, just naming things around them in English?
Absolutely. The more you do it, the stronger that connection between the object and the English word becomes. You're basically bypassing your native language entirely. And once you're comfortable with that, try describing simple actions you do every day. Think about your routines.
Like making coffee in the morning.
Exactly. So as you're doing it, try to say what you're doing in English, even if it's just in your head. I'm grinding the coffee beans. I'm putting the filter in the coffee maker. I'm pouring in the water. Just narrate your actions as you go through your day.
That's actually really practical. It's like having a running commentary in your head, but in English. So what comes next? What do we do once we're okay with simple words and actions?
Well, then you can start to make your sentences a little longer and more complex. Start with a basic thought, maybe something like, I am tired.
Simple enough.
Now try adding to it, still thinking only in English.
Oh.
So you might say, I am tired because I didn't sleep well last night. See how you're expanding on that initial thought and adding more information?
Yeah, and it's all in English.
Exactly. You're training your brain to work within English sentence structures.
Yeah.
And to really make this a habit, you can even make small changes to your daily routine.
What do you mean by that?
I'm talking about little things that can make a big difference over time. Like try writing your shopping list in English. Even if it's just the words for the items, you're still using English vocabulary. Or switch the language on your phone to English. That way you're seeing English all the time.
It's like you're immersing yourself in the language, even in small ways. And I know some people might find this one a bit strange, but what about talking to yourself in English?
I know it sounds weird, but it really works. You can practice saying things out loud without worrying about making mistakes in front of anyone. It's just you and your thoughts, but in English. It's about getting comfortable with that inner voice being in English.
So we've got all these basic steps, focusing on simple words, describing actions, making sentences longer, changing our routines, and talking to ourselves. But how do we actually break that translation habit and get really fluent?
Well, the most important thing is to just practice speaking English as much as you can. Don't worry too much about being perfect or getting the grammar exactly right. Just let the words flow, even if you make a few mistakes. Mistakes are how you learn, you know. They're not a bad thing.
It's true, that fear of making mistakes can really hold you back. So just speak. What else can we do to move away from translating?
Okay, this one's powerful. Try to create visual associations. So instead of seeing an apple and thinking of the word for apple in your native language, try to directly connect the image of the apple with the English word apple in your mind. Say the word to yourself, picture the apple in your head, and skip that translation step.
It's like making a mental picture dictionary.
Yes. And it works for more than just nouns. You can do it with verbs too. So for the verb to run, imagine someone running, see the movement in your mind, and connect that with the English word run. And of course, all of this is way easier if you're surrounding yourself with English as much as possible.
You mean like listening to podcasts, watching movies, things like that?
Yes. Immerse yourself in the language. Listen to English conversations every day, even if you don't understand everything. You'll be surprised how much your brain picks up naturally. And don't just listen passively. Try to actively engage with the content.
How do we do that?
Well, here's a great exercise. Read something in English, maybe a short article or a blog post, and then try to explain it to yourself in your own words, in English. The key is to focus on the meaning, not on translating word for word.
So it's about understanding the ideas and expressing them in your own way in English.
Exactly. It makes you think in English, use your own vocabulary, and really process the information. It's a great way to become more fluent.
Okay, those are all fantastic strategies. Now, what about some specific exercises our listeners can do, even if they're listening to this deep dive on their own?
All right, try this one. Throughout your day, imagine you're talking to a friend about what you're doing, but do it all in your head, in English. Don't worry too much about perfect grammar. Just focus on keeping the conversation flowing.
So like if I'm making breakfast, I could be thinking, I'm getting the cereal out of the cupboard, I'm pouring the milk into the bowl, like that.
Exactly. Here's another one. I call it the fast thinking challenge. Pick an object, any object, and see how many words you can think of to describe it in English. Give yourself a time limit, like 15 seconds. It's a fun way to test your vocabulary.
I like that. So if I pick coffee, I might say hot, dark, strong, bitter, delicious.
Perfect. See how quickly you can make those connections.
Ahead.
And if you're feeling creative, try the storytelling exercise. Choose 3 random words and try to make up a short story that includes all of them.
Oh, that sounds like fun. It would really make you think outside the box.
It would. These kinds of exercises really help you to process information in English in a more active way.
Great. So we have the mental exercises, but what about some everyday practices we can do to really make thinking in English a habit?
Well, we mentioned talking to yourself in the mirror before, and I really can't stress enough how helpful that is. It might feel silly, but it really builds your confidence when you can see and hear yourself speaking English.
It's like you're having a conversation with your future fluent self.
Exactly. And of course, you should also try to have real conversations with other people in English as often as you can. There are so many ways to do that now. Join a language exchange group, find online forums, or even just chat with people on social media.
Yeah.
The important thing is to actually speak.
And with technology these days, there are even AI tools you can use to practice, right?
Definitely. Chatting with an AI in English is a great way to practice without any pressure. You can ask questions, have discussions, and basically have a conversation partner available anytime you want. A fantastic resource.
That's great, especially for people who don't have many opportunities to speak with native English speakers. What's another good daily practice?
This one's classic, but it really works. Watch English videos or listen to English audio and try to repeat what you hear out loud. This is called shadowing, and it's amazing for improving your pronunciation and getting a feel for natural English rhythm and intonation.
It's like you're mimicking how native speakers actually sound.
Exactly. Helps you internalize those patterns and make them your own.
Wow, we've covered so much today, so let's recap. To shift from translating to thinking in English, we need to start by consciously naming things and describing actions in English. Then we can gradually make our sentences more complex, change our daily routines to include more English, and even talk to ourselves in English. And to really boost our fluency, we can use visual associations, immerse ourselves in the language, practice reading and summarizing, and try those fun brain training exercises. Plus, we can talk to ourselves in the mirror, have real conversations with others, use AI tools, and practice shadowing. Did I get everything?
You got it all. And remember, this is a journey. It takes time and effort. But if you consistently apply these strategies, you will train your brain to think in English. I promise.
And speaking of challenges, here's one for all of you listening. For the next 24 hours, try to think only in English as much as you can. You'll probably catch yourself switching back to your native language, and that's okay. Just notice it and gently bring yourself back to English.
Pay attention to those moments when you're translating in your head and see if you can rephrase the thought directly in English. It's a great way to become more aware of your thinking patterns and start changing them.
I hope you found this deep dive really helpful and motivating. And we'll be exploring other important aspects of English learning in future episodes, so make sure to subscribe and stay tuned.
Yes. In our next episode, we'll be talking all about English pronunciation, which is essential for speaking clearly and being understood.
It's going to be good. Thank you so much for joining us on the Duo Dialogues today. Keep practicing, and we'll see you next time for another insightful discussion.